Let's bring in right now Senior Advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Mark Regev. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for being with us. Any insights on what's holding up the hostage release right now?
So first of all, can I start by agreeing with what you said before about President Biden's role? We've publicly praised him. The Prime Minister has praised him. I've praised him. There's no doubt we wouldn't have had this deal for 4 days of this humanitarian pause that is allowing the release of 50 hostages, women and children. It wouldn't have come together without President Biden, and it wouldn't, we had a few bumps in the road. We still maybe have 1 or 2 ahead of us, but we wouldn't have solved those bumps without his input as well. And I can tell you here in Israel, his input has been greatly appreciated. To your question, this is the last and final hostage release that has to happen today as part of the deal over 4 days. Working with Hamas is never easy. It's like pulling teeth. It's painful. Hamas is a brutal and fanatical organization, as you know. They never make it easy for anyone who deals with them. We're hopeful still that we'll have a release of the hostages tonight in the framework of the agreement that was brokered with the help of President Biden.
So, Mr. Ambassador, give us a sense, if you will, as to the best the government knows as to how many hostages are currently in Hamas's possession. That has become a real cause of concern in recent days, that there seem to be some hostages who are unaccounted for, whose whereabouts are not quite known, or that perhaps some other splinter groups might have them and not Hamas itself. So can you give us the best you can, the understanding of where these hostages are and who has them?
So before the releases started, we were using the number 236. We say openly that Hamas is in control of Gaza, unfortunately, but that's the reality. And that they are responsible for all the hostages. If someone else has them, they have the ability, because they control Gaza on the inside, they have the ability to get those hostages. And the idea of the 4-day humanitarian pause in the fighting was so they wouldn't have any excuses. They could go anywhere they needed to go to facilitate the release of hostages. And so from our point of view, there's one address, and that address is Hamas. And there are many more than 50 hostages. And if they can't make that number of 50, it's clear they'll be in violation of agreements that were reached, as I said, brokered by the United States with the help of Egypt, Qatar as well. Everyone knows there's a commitment for 50, and Hamas must deliver.
Mr. Ambassador, the front page of the Wall Street Journal talks about how the bid to extend the truce complicates Israel's goal to wipe out the enemy. That's something that David Ignatius talked about earlier today, that after this truce is completed, there may be extensions. Obviously, the people of Israel want 2 things at the same time. They want Hamas wiped out. At the same time, they want as many hostages released as possible. Can you talk to the balancing of those 2 competing interests?
We don't think there's a contradiction between the 2. On the contrary, we think the military pressure on Hamas, our ground invasion into Gaza and our attacks on Hamas's military machine, we've successfully destroyed much of its military infrastructure, and we're eliminating its senior command. We think that has expedited the release of hostages because Hamas wasn't willing to discuss the sort of numbers that the end were agreed to, the 50. It's only because they were desperate for a timeout. They needed the IDF to cease our operations. Let's be frank, we're talking about fanatical killers. They're not going to release people out of the goodness of their hearts. They're only doing so because they're under pressure. So the military operation has facilitated the release of hostages. Last night, we were all very excited. I know the President and the Prime Minister discussed it in their phone call of yesterday. The young 4-year-old, Abigail Idan, right? Both her parents were murdered on October 7th by Hamas. She's got 2 older siblings, a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, that hid in a cupboard and survived the massacre of that day. And this is a family now of 3 children, one of them, the 4-year-old, the youngest, the most tender, who was a hostage for 50 days held by Hamas. And we just heard from your reporter what sort of things they went through. This is a family that we have to now care for, that we have to, as a society, we have to embrace. We have to do everything to make sure that those 3 children can have a normal life as is possible. But I say all this just to remind us all who is Hamas and what they're all about, because who kidnaps 3-year-olds? She had her fourth birthday in captivity. And I'd remind you, they're still held by Hamas, a 10-month-old baby. He was kidnapped when he was 9 months old. That means he was kidnapped before he could walk or talk. And you have to ask yourself, what sort of people kidnap a baby who cannot walk or talk? And I think that says everything about Hamas that you want to know.
Well, terrorists do that. Senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Mark Regev, thank you so much for being with us. We greatly appreciate it.